Hello, my name is Lucy Zaharis, and I am a high school art teacher. And I'm going to be going over how I use behavioral learning theories in my classroom to structure really complex art assignments so that students feel confident and ready to complete them. For me, it's important that my curriculum has a balance of providing technical skills to students while also providing opportunities for them to use their creativity and implement critical thinking skills along the way. Behaviorist instruction approaches that I use are primarily for students who struggle with intrinsic motivation for completing art assignments and do better when they're extrinsically motivated. So, the behaviorist techniques that I'm going to be covering is shaping and chaining. And shaping is a technique that reinforces phases of student growth through operant conditioning strategies. So instead of just praising them at the end or getting a grade at the end of a big learning unit or summative assessment, we're providing that reinforcement along the way. Chaining, on the other hand, breaks down complex tasks into manageable parts so that students can approach a complex assignment with ease since they are gradually building up to it. So, the benefits of shaping and chaining include eliminating barriers for students, reducing frustration and confusion by assigning manageable parts, building confidence through gradual skill development, maintains motivation throughout the project, and allows for personalized pacing and support. Students learn best when they are being shown within a range of their abilities with guidance. So we don't want students to feel like they cannot access the curriculum. And we also don't want students to feel like they already know the material. We want a middle ground where they feel like they can be successful with guidance. This is when optimal learning happens. So, for example, if I asked you right now to draw this picture of a snake, you might feel a little bit overwhelmed, frustrated, and more likely to give up. However, if I ask you to follow these steps to practice drawing scales, suddenly there's a little bit more confidence. Like, yeah, I can do that. So, this is the idea of implementing zone of proximal development in my assignments. I have high expectations, but students know that they're going to be guided along the way so that they're successful. As you can see, asking them to draw the complete snake with all of the shading and detail and proportions would be on the outer ring, which is what a learner cannot do. Whereas just drawing the scales with the steps would be on the inner ring, which is the zone of proximal development, which is what the learner can do with guidance. And then eventually they'll move on when they can do it unaided. So in this example of my instructional unit, I'm giving students a complex goal. It's a complex assignment. So the assignment, simply stated, is students will create an original work of art using technical application of texture and form. So I would begin this by structuring the assignment with chaining in mind. And this ensures students are given tasks that fall within the zone of proximal development leading up to their final project. So we would start out with guided practice where we're all drawing together. They can watch me, we're going slow, and during the entire um, session, I would be walking around and checking on them and helping them adjust their mistakes. The second phase would be independent practice, where they would have a little bit more time on their own to figure things out and make mistakes, but it's still low stakes. If they mess up, it's not too bad and it's accessible for them. Then, once they've had sufficient practice, they can move on to their creative practice, where they take what they learned in the first two phases and they push it and extend it a bit further And then finally, that would lead to them feeling confident enough to make a final piece of art based on their skill development and creativity. Shaping encourages students along the way through operant conditioning. So during guided practice, they would earn points for these assignments. So easy points that helps them feel like they've accomplished something, even if their practice wasn't perfect. Then when they present their creative practice, I can give them that personal one-on-one feedback, which is also really reinforcing for students, along with some assurance that they're on the right path, some praise perhaps. And then finally, the satisfaction of completing their assignment and sharing it with their peers in a celebratory way. Praise for effort and progress. This is the easiest to implement, as it could be as simple as the teacher going around the room and acknowledging something that they did well. Points for completing practice assignments. So, this also can be done quickly by checking off assignments and giving credit, no credit, allowing choice seating for engaged students. So, this is another reward, positive reinforcement strategy where students who are on task and working would be permitted to sit with their friends during the work time of the project. And then the gallery walk as the final reinforcement and closure for the assignment, where students can share their art with one another, walk around the room, and talk about how they did with their friends. So, as an art teacher, I have to address different motivation levels. Many students take my class because it is a graduation requirement and they need a visual arts for 4-year college admissions. So, extrinsic motivation is huge for most students, and this includes grades, praise, privileges like sitting with their friends, group recognition, which could be something that happens during the gallery walks. Sometimes we do other activities with that as well. Intrinsic motivation includes creative freedom and personal improvement. That is why most of my assignments will have some sort of creative component while building upon their technical skills. So, in conclusion, shaping and chaining are effective tools for art education to help students develop technical art skills and extend their learning to create original works of art. And it addresses diverse motivation levels, which is very important in high school arts education. Thank you so much.